I never cheated on my wife. At least, that's what I told myself the morning I woke up in Sarah's bed. Sunlight cutting through the blinds, her arm draped across my chest like it belonged there. Claire, my wife, was 3 miles away. Probably making her breakfast in the kitchen we hadn't shared a meal in for 8 months. She wouldn't notice I'd been gone all night. She stopped noticing me a long time ago. The worst part? Sarah wasn't some stranger. She was Claire's best friend. The woman who'd been at our wedding, who'd held Claire's hand through her mother's funeral, who'd sat at our kitchen table 1,000 times, laughing, crying, being family. And now she was the only person in the world who made me feel like I still existed. They'll call me a monster. Maybe they're right. But monsters are made, not born. 6 months earlier, Sarah's bookstore opened at 8. I started showing up at 7, not to buy books. Not really. I came because the coffee was hot, and Sarah asked how I was doing. 2 things I didn't get at home. "Morning, Mark," she'd say, looking up from whatever she was shelving. Poetry, usually. Emily Dickinson, Mary Oliver, the quiet ones. "Morning." That was it. Small, safe. But somewhere around the 3rd week, she looked at me different. "You okay?" she asked. I froze, cup halfway to my mouth. Yeah, automatic. The lie every married man tells. Sarah set down the book she'd been holding, turned to face me fully. "You don't seem okay." No one had asked me that in 8 months. Maybe longer. I should have left. Should have said something light and walked out the door. Instead, I said, "When's the last time someone touched you? Not a handshake. Not an accident at the grocery store. Just touched you because they wanted to." Her face changed. "Mark, 8 and 47 days," I said. I counted. The coffee in my hand had gone cold. "I've been standing there too long. I should go." 6 years, she said quietly. I stopped. 6 years since my ex-husband left. 6 years since someone looked at me like I mattered. We stood there in the poetry aisle, 2 people drowning on dry land. She laughed. Not happy, just tired. "We're a mess, aren't we?" "Yeah," I said. "We are." After that, the coffee became a ritual. Every morning, 7 a.m. I'd bring my old Navy mug, chipped on the rim, faded anchor barely visible. Left it there one day by accident. Next morning, it was waiting for me on the counter, already filled. "You kept it," I said. Sarah smiled. Small, sad. "It's a good mug." Felt wrong to throw it out. I wrapped both hands around it, still warm. We talked. About nothing. About everything. She told me about her ex, how he'd left for someone younger, someone who laughed louder, took up less space, how she'd spent 6 years rebuilding herself in a town that still saw her as the woman who got left. I told her about the guest room, about lying awake at 3 a.m., listening to Claire breathe on the other side of the house, about the way my wife looked through me like I was furniture. "Why do you stay?" Sarah asked one morning. "Because I made a promise." "Even if it's killing you?" I didn't answer. She poured more coffee. Her hand brushed mine, brief, electric. "This is dangerous," I said. "I know." Neither of us stopped. That night, I tried one more time with Claire, came home with flowers, tulips, her favorite, back when she had favorites. She was in the kitchen, washing dishes that were already clean, a habit she'd developed, keeping her hands busy, keeping distance. "What's the occasion?" she asked. Didn't turn around. No occasion, just wanted to. She dried her hands, slow, put the tulips in a vase without looking at them, without looking at me. "Thank you." 2 words, flat, empty. "Claire?" "Hmm? Can we talk?" "I'm tired, Mark." She was always tired. "I miss you," I said. She finally turned, looked at me like I'd spoken a foreign language. "I'm right here." "No," I said. "You're not." Something flickered in her eyes. Pain, maybe, or recognition. Then it was gone. "I'm going to bed," she said. "It's 7:30. I'm tired." She walked past me, up the stairs. The bedroom door closed. Not a slam, just a quiet click, the sound of a marriage ending in slow motion. I sat at the kitchen table, alone, staring at flowers that would die in a week. My phone buzzed. "Sarah, hope you're okay." 3 words. That's all it took. I typed back, "Not really." 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. "Come by tomorrow. I'll make the good coffee." I stared at that message for 10 minutes. Then I wrote, "Okay." That night, I slept in the guest room. Again. The bed was narrow, cold. The room smelled like storage and regret. Through the wall, I could hear Claire moving around in our bedroom, the one we used to share. Before the silence, before the distance, before she built a wall I couldn't climb. I pulled out my phone, looked at Sarah's message again. "I'll make the good coffee." Such a small thing. Coffee, conversation, being seen. But when you've been invisible for 847 days, small things feel like oxygen. I closed my eyes. Somewhere in the dark, I'd already made a choice. I just didn't know it yet. Claire's brother Michael showed up early for the barbecue. Need help? He asked, hauling a cooler from his truck. I got it, I said. He set it down anyway. Clapped me on the shoulder, hard, the way men do when they don't know what else to say. Good to see you, man. Been a while. Yeah. How's everything? Fine. The lie came easy. I'd been practicing. By noon, the backyard was full. Claire's family, my cousin Dave, a few neighbors. Everyone smiling, drinking, pretending the world was fine. Claire moved through the crowd like a hostess at a hotel. Professional, distant. She handed out drinks, refilled chip bowls, laughed at jokes. She looked happy. To everyone else, we looked perfect. You two still got it, Michael said, watching Claire across the yard. 15 years, and you still look like newlyweds. I almost laughed. Claire glanced over, caught my eye, smiled. The kind of smile you give strangers at the DMV. I smiled back. We were the best actors in the world. Burgers are ready, I called. People lined up, plates filled, conversations hummed. I stood by the grill, flipping meat I didn't want to eat, listening to people talk about their lives, kids in soccer games, vacation plans, normal things, things that felt like they belonged to someone else. Claire brought me a beer. Her fingers didn't touch mine when she handed it over. Thanks, I said. You're doing great, she said, quiet, just for me. So are you. She nodded, walked away. A guest asked her something. She laughed. Bright, hollow. I drank the beer, tasted like nothing. Around 4, people started leaving. Michael stayed, helped clean up. Mostly he just stood by the cooler, drinking steadily, watching his kids play in the yard. They're good kids, I said. Yeah. How's Jennifer? His wife. 20 years married. High school sweethearts. Michael took a long drink, stared at nothing. We haven't had sex in 3 years. I almost dropped the trash bag I was holding. Michael? 3 years, Mark. He laughed. Bitter. Empty. We sleep in the same bed. We raise the kids together. We go to church every Sunday. But we're strangers. I didn't know what to say. I'm not telling you this to complain, he said. I'm telling you because I see it. See what? The way you and Claire move around each other. Like ghosts. He looked at me. Really looked. You're not happy. Michael, neither is she. He finished his beer, crushed the can. But you're both too scared to admit it. And the kids were laughing in the yard. Someone's phone was ringing inside. The grill was still hot. Everything looked normal. Everything was dying. How do you live like that? I asked quietly. Michael shrugged, tired, resigned. You just do. You wake up, you go through the motions. You tell yourself it's what you're supposed to do. He looked at his kids, and one day you realize you've been dead for years and nobody noticed. He grabbed another beer, started walking toward his family, stopped, turned back. If you're unhappy, Mark, don't do what I did. Don't just stay because you're supposed to. What's the alternative? I don't know. He smiled. Sad. True. But it's got to be better than this. He walked away. I stood there holding a trash bag full of paper plates and empty bottles, thinking, that's me. That's exactly me. After everyone left, Claire went straight to bed, didn't say goodnight, didn't ask if I needed anything, just disappeared upstairs. I heard the bedroom door close, then the bathroom door, then water running. The sounds of someone locking herself away. I sat on the back porch, phone in hand. The yard was a mess. Cups everywhere, chairs knocked over, evidence of life happening. My phone buzzed. Sarah, how was the barbecue? I stared at that message for a long time. Typed, like watching a play where everyone knows their lines, but nobody believes them anymore. 3 dots appeared immediately. You okay? I looked at the house. Dark except for one upstairs light. Claire, probably writing, building another wall. No, I typed. The dots appeared again, longer this time. Come over, just to talk. I'll make coffee. I read it 3 times. Just to talk. Coffee. Nothing wrong with that. 2 friends. That's all. I grabbed my keys. Sarah's apartment was above the bookstore. I'd never been inside. She opened the door in jeans and an old sweater, barefoot, hair down. Hey, she said. Hey, come in. The apartment was small, warm, books everywhere. The kind of place that felt like someone actually lived there. Not like my house, which felt like a museum. Beautiful, untouched, dead. Coffee? She asked. Yeah. She moved to the kitchen. I stood awkwardly by the door. You can sit, she said, smiling. I sat on her couch, worn, comfortable, real. She brought 2 mugs, sat beside me. Not too close, not far. Rough day? She asked. Claire's brother told me he hasn't slept with his wife in 3 years. Sarah's eyebrows went up. That's honest. He said he sees it, the way Claire and I are. And what did you say? Nothing. What could I say? Sarah sipped her coffee, quiet. How long has it been? She asked, gentle. Since you and Claire. 847 days. You're still counting. Hard not to, she nodded, looked at her mug. I stopped counting after a year, she said, with my ex. Figured if I stopped paying attention, maybe it wouldn't hurt as much. Did it work? No. We sat in silence. The good kind. The kind where you don't have to perform. Why do we do this? I asked. Do what? Stay. In marriages that are already over. Sarah looked at me, eyes sad, knowing. Because leaving feels like failure, and admitting failure feels worse than dying slowly. She said it so simply, like it was obvious. And it was. I should go, I said. Okay, I stood. She walked me to the door. Mark? I turned. You can come by any time, she said, if you need to talk. Or just be somewhere that doesn't hurt. I nodded. Couldn't speak. Drove home. Claire was asleep. Or pretending. I lay in the guest room, staring at the ceiling, thinking about Sarah's couch, her coffee. The way she looked at me like I was still a person. My phone buzzed. Sarah. Thanks for coming over. Sleep well. I typed back. Well, you too. Then added, thank you. For what? I didn't say. For seeing me, I meant. I started going to Sarah's apartment twice a week, then 3 times, then I stopped counting. We'd sit on her couch, drinking coffee that turned cold while we talked. About everything, about nothing. She told me about growing up in Ohio, about her dad who died when she was 12, about moving here after the divorce, starting over in a town where everyone knew her as the one who got left. I told her about the Marines, about coming home to a country that didn't know what to do with guys like me, about meeting Claire at a friend's wedding and thinking she was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. You still think that? Sarah asked. We were on her couch, rain tapping the window, the city quiet outside. I don't know what I think anymore. That's honest. It's sad. Maybe both. She pulled her feet up under her, wore gray socks with a hole in one toe. I noticed everything about her now, the way she tucked her hair behind her ear when she was thinking, how she laughed at her own jokes before delivering the punchline, the small scar on her wrist from a childhood accident. Why did you marry her? Sarah asked. I thought about it, really thought. I loved her. I mean, I did, before. Before what? Before she stopped letting me. Sarah's hand was on the couch between us, 6 inches from mine. The rain got louder. Mark, I should go. You should. Neither of us moved. If I stay, I said, voice low, everything changes. I know. We can't undo it. I know. Her eyes were brown. I'd never noticed before, or maybe I had. Maybe I'd been noticing everything for months and just pretending I hadn't. This is wrong, I said. I know. She leaned in. Or I did. I don't remember who moved first. The kiss was soft, terrified. Like 2 people stepping off a cliff together, not sure if they'd fly or fall. When we pulled apart, I was shaking. I'm sorry, I said, don't be. This makes me human, she finished. It makes you human. I kissed her again, harder this time. Her hands in my hair, mine on her face, 18 months of starvation pouring into one moment. We didn't make it to her bedroom. I woke up to sunlight and her hand on my chest. For 5 seconds, I forgot everything. Forgot Claire. Forgot vows. Forgot the man I used to be. I just felt the warmth of another person. The simple miracle of being wanted. Then reality hit. I was an adulterer. I was the man I swore I'd never be. Sarah stirred, opened her eyes, smiled. Morning. I should have felt nothing but shame, but God help me. I felt alive. I have to go, I said. I know. I sat up, started looking for my shirt, found it under the coffee table. Sarah watched me from the couch, blanket pulled up, hair a mess, beautiful. Mark, I turned. This doesn't have to mean anything, she said quietly. If you want to forget, it happened. Do you want to forget? She looked at me, honest, heartbreaking. No. Me neither. I finished getting dressed. My hands were shaking. Guilt, fear, relief, all of it tangled together. At the door, I stopped. What does this make us? I asked. Sarah stood, walked over, touched my face. I don't know, but whatever it is, I'm not sorry. You should be. But I'm not. I kissed her forehead, left before I could change my mind. Claire was awake when I got home, sitting at the kitchen table, reading, coffee in her favorite mug. The one I'd given her years ago with "World's Best Wife" printed on the side. The irony wasn't lost on me. "Morning," I said. She looked up, brief, disinterested. "Morning. Where were you?" "Couldn't sleep. Went for a drive." She nodded, went back to her book. That was it. No suspicion, no concern, no questions. I stood there in the kitchen, smelling like another woman, waiting for her to notice, to ask, to care. She turned the page. "I'm going to shower," I said. "Okay." I walked past her, up the stairs. In the bathroom, I caught my reflection. Same face, different man. I turned on the shower, let it run hot, stood under the water until my skin burned, trying to wash away the guilt, trying to wash away the memory of Sarah's hands. Neither worked. That night, I tried. One more time. Claire was in bed, reading again. Always reading. Like the books could build a wall between us. "Claire." "Can we talk?" "I'm almost done with this chapter." I waited. 5 minutes. 10. She finished. Set the book down, looked at me like a teacher looks at a student who's interrupting. "What?" "I miss you." She blinked, confused. "I'm right here." "No, you're not." I moved closer, sat on the edge of the bed. "I miss us, the way we used to be." Something flickered in her eyes. Pain, or maybe annoyance. "Mark, I'm tired." "You're always tired." "Because I am." "Of what? Of me?" She looked away, jaw tight. "I don't want to do this right now." "When? Then? When do we talk about the fact that we don't talk, that we don't touch, that we're living like roommates?" "I don't know what you want from me." "I want you to want me." The words came out louder than I meant. "I want you to look at me like I'm your husband, not some stranger who lives in your house." Her face went cold, shut down. "I can't do this right now." Claire." "Please. Mark, just go to the guest room." The words hit like a punch. "You're kicking me out of our bedroom." "You're already out. You've been sleeping in there for months. 'Cause you won't let me stay here." "I never said you couldn't." "You don't have to say it." I stood, angry, desperate. "You just turn away every time I get close. You flinch when I touch you. You look at me like I disgust you." Tears in her eyes now, but not sad tears, angry ones. "You have no idea." "Then tell me what I did wrong." "Nothing," she shouted. "You did nothing wrong. That's the problem." Silence. We stared at each other. Two people who used to know how to love each other, now just strangers yelling in the dark. "I can't be what you need," she said quietly. "Why not?" "I just can't." "That's not an answer." "It's the only one I have." She turned off her bedside lamp, rolled over, facing the wall. Conversation over. I stood there in the dark, looking at her back, the way I'd looked at it for 18 months, wondering what I'd done, what I could fix, how to bridge the gap. Now I knew. I couldn't. I walked to the guest room, closed the door, pulled out my phone. Sarah had texted an hour ago. "You okay?" I stared at that message. Thought about Claire's cold shoulder, her locked bathroom drawer I'd noticed last week, the pills she took every night that she never talked about, the therapy appointments she went to alone. Something was wrong with her, something broken, but she wouldn't let me help, wouldn't let me in. I typed back to Sarah, "No, but I will be." She responded immediately, "I'm here, whenever you need." I turned off my phone, lay in the narrow bed, and for the first time in 847 days, I didn't feel lonely. I felt guilty, but I didn't feel lonely. 6 weeks, that's how long the affair lasted before everything shattered. 6 weeks of stolen mornings, of Sarah's apartment, of feeling like a human being again. 6 weeks of lies. I told Claire I was going to the gym, running errands, meeting Dave for coffee. She never questioned it, never looked up from her book. Some part of me wanted her to catch me, to force the confrontation I didn't have the courage to start. But she didn't. She just kept turning pages, taking her pills, disappearing into the bathroom with the locked drawer. It was a Wednesday when everything changed. I came home early. Claire's car was gone. Doctor's appointment, probably. Or therapy. She went 3 times a week now. I needed batteries. Checked the kitchen drawer. Nothing. Checked the junk drawer in the hallway. Empty. Then I remembered. Claire kept extras in the bathroom. The master bathroom. The one that used to be ours. I went upstairs. The drawer was open. She'd left in a hurry. Forgot to lock it. I should have just grabbed the batteries and left. I should have respected her privacy. I didn't. Inside, under the batteries and old receipts, were 3 journals. The kind therapists give you. Daily reflections printed on the cover in gold letters. I picked up the oldest one, hands shaking, opened to a random page, and read words that broke me. Dr. Stevens asked me today when I first learned that touch could hurt. I was 7, my uncle. It went on for 2 years. Mom didn't believe me when I finally told her. Said I was making things up for attention. Said Uncle Ray was a good man. Said I was confused. So I learned. Bodies lie, touch is violence, trust is a trap. I buried it for years. Thought I'd moved past it. Then I married Mark, and he was kind and gentle and patient. And every time he touched me, I felt like I was 7 again. I stopped reading. Couldn't breathe. Flipped forward. Months later. Mark doesn't understand why I can't. He thinks I don't love him. I do love him, but my body won't let me show it. Every time he reaches for me, my skin crawls. Not because of him. Because of memory. He's pulling away now. I see it. The hurt in his eyes. The distance growing? I should tell him? Explain? But how do you explain that you're broken in a way that can't be fixed? Another entry. More recent. I'm losing him. He sleeps in the guest room now. Doesn't try anymore. Part of me is relieved. Part of me is dying. Dr. Stevens says I need to communicate. To let him in. But I can't. Because if I tell him the truth, he'll see me differently. He'll see the broken little girl instead of his wife. And I can't live with that. I closed the journal. Sat on the bathroom floor. And cried. For her. For me. For the marriage we never stood a chance of saving. Because I'd spent 18 months thinking she didn't love me. Thinking she was cold, cruel, withholding. When the whole time she was drowning in a past I didn't even know existed. And I'd already betrayed her. I put the journals back exactly how I'd found them. Left the drawer open, the way she'd left it. Drove to Sarah's. She opened the door, smiling, saw my face. What happened? I walked in. Sat on her couch. The same couch where we'd first kissed. Saw my coffee mug on her kitchen counter. The chip navy one. Sitting next to hers. It looked wrong now, like evidence. Mark, you're scaring me. I found Claire's journals, I said. Sarah sat beside me, quiet. She was abused, as a child, for years. Sarah's hand went to her mouth. That's why I couldn't finish. Why she can't be intimate. It's not that she doesn't love me, she's terrified. Sarah was quiet for a long time. What are you gonna do? I don't know. Are you gonna tell her that you know? I don't know that either. We sat in silence, the weight of it crushing. I'm a monster, I said. You didn't know. Doesn't matter, I gave up on her. I came here, to you. I looked at Sarah. I betrayed someone who was already shattered. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. Mark, I have to tell her, I said. I have to confess, end this. The words hung in the air. Sarah nodded, slow, understanding. You're choosing her. I'm choosing honesty. Do you love her? I looked at Sarah, the woman who'd saved me, who I damned myself for. I don't know, but I owe her the truth. Sarah wiped her eyes, tried to smile. Then go. I stood, walked to the door. Mark? I turned. I don't regret this, she said. I know I should, but I don't. Me neither, I said quietly. That's what makes it so terrible. I left. Drove home in silence, thinking about Claire's journals, her locked drawer, the secrets we keep to survive, the ways we break each other without meaning to. That night, Claire came home from therapy. I was waiting in the kitchen. Hey, she said, surprised. I was never in the kitchen anymore. Hey, she set down her purse, looked at me. You okay? No. She froze. Claire, we need to talk. Her face went pale. Okay. She sat across from me, hands folded on the table, like she was preparing for an execution, and in a way she was. I've been seeing someone, I said. Claire was folding dish towels. Her hand stopped mid-fold. What? For 3 months. I've been with someone else. The towel dropped to the table. Silence. Then, who? I couldn't say it. Mark. Who? Sarah. The sound she made wasn't a scream, it was worse. It was the sound of something inside her breaking that could never be fixed. A keening, primal, like an animal caught in a trap. Sarah? Her voice cracked. My Sarah? I'm sorry. You're sorry? She stood, shaking. You fucked my best friend and you're sorry? Claire, I know. You don't know anything. She was crying now, rage and pain twisted together. You don't know what it's like to be me. To want to be close to you and not be able to hate my own body for betraying me every single day. I found your journal, I said quietly. She froze. I know what happened to you. I know why. You have no right. She grabbed the dish towels, threw them. They fluttered uselessly to the floor. You have no right to read my pain and use it to justify what you did. She was right. If you were suffering, she said, voice breaking, you should have left. You should have divorced me, not this, not her. I was dying, Claire. So was I, she screamed it, tears streaming. But I didn't run to your best friend. I didn't destroy you like this. She collapsed into a chair, sobbing, hands over her face. I reached for her. Don't touch me. I pulled back. How long? She asked. 3 months? 3 months. She laughed, bitter, broken. And Sarah, she's been in this house, sitting at our table, holding my hand when I cried about my mother. The whole time? I'm sorry. Stop saying that. She looked at me, eyes red, destroyed. Sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't undo what you did. I know. Did you love her? The question hung in the air. I don't know. That's worse, Claire whispered. If you loved her, at least it would mean something. But you don't even know. She stood, walked to the sink, gripped the edge like she might collapse. Get out, she said. Claire, get out of my house. It's our house. She spun around, face twisted with fury. Get out. I stood, grabbed my keys. At the door, I stopped. I'm sorry I read your journal. I'm sorry I betrayed you. I'm sorry I wasn't strong enough to. I don't want your apologies, she said. Voice flat now, empty. I want you gone. I left. I drove to Lisa's apartment, my daughter, 20 years old, smart, kind, her mother's eyes, my stubborn chin. She opened the door, took one look at my face. Mom called. Of course she did. Lisa, I need to explain. You cheated on her with Aunt Sarah. Not a question, a sentencing. It's more complicated than, no, Dad, it's not. Her voice was cold, unfamiliar. You made a choice. You chose to hurt Mom in the worst possible way. Your mother and I haven't been close in years. So you fix it. You go to therapy. You get a divorce. She was crying now, angry tears. You don't fuck her best friend. I'd never heard my daughter curse before. I'm still your father. Are you? She wiped her eyes, mascara smeared. Because the man I thought was my father wouldn't do this. Lisa, please. How could you? Her voice broke. Sarah was family. She was at my graduation, my birthday parties. She was Mom's person. I know. Then why? Because I was lonely. So was Mom, Lisa shouted. You think she wasn't lonely? You think she wanted to push you away? Did she tell you She told me everything. About Uncle Ray, about the abuse, about being so scared of her own husband's touch that she wanted to die. The words hit like bullets. She told you that? Tonight, she finally told me. And you know what she said? Lisa's voice shook. She said she was working on it, going to therapy, trying to get better. For you, so she could be a real wife again. I felt sick. I didn't know. You didn't ask. Lisa's face was red, furious. You just decided she didn't love you and went looking somewhere else. That's not fair. Life's not fair, Dad. You taught me that, remember? She stepped back, hand on the door. I need you to leave. Honey, leave, Dad. The door closed. I stood in the hallway of my daughter's building, listening to her cry through the door, the sound of her losing respect for me. I'd lost my wife. Now I'd lost my daughter, too. I drove to Sarah's. She opened the door, saw my face. How bad? She knows, Lisa knows. Everyone's gonna know. Sarah pulled me inside, held me while I broke. I've ruined everything, I said. We'll get through this. How? Together. I pulled back, looked at her, and realized something I'd been avoiding for months. When did it start? I asked. For you. When did you start wanting me? She hesitated. Tell me the truth. 2 years ago, she said quietly. At your anniversary party. You and Claire barely spoke all night. You looked so lost. And I remember thinking, if I was his wife, I'd never let him feel that way. My stomach dropped. 2 years ago, Claire and I were still trying. I know. We were still sleeping in the same bed, still having dinner together. I know, Mark. So you wanted me even when I wasn't fully gone. Silence. Did you? She asked. Want me before? I thought about it, really thought. Yeah, I said quietly. At that same party, you wore a blue dress, you laughed at something I said, and for 1 second, I thought, what would my life be like with someone who laughed at my jokes? Sarah closed her eyes. So we're both liars, she said. I told myself I only turned to you because Claire had already left me. I said that I was just filling a void, that it was justified. But that's not true. No, the truth sat between us, ugly, undeniable. I wanted you even before the end. I just needed an excuse to make it okay. We both did, Sarah whispered. I stood, walked to the window, looked out at the street. I'm not the good guy in this story, I said. Neither am I, as I used my suffering to justify betraying my wife. We both did. I turned, looked at her. Where does that leave us? Sarah's eyes filled with tears. I don't know, but Mark, I meant what I said. I don't regret you. You should. But I don't. She walked over, stood in front of me. I know what we did was wrong. I know we hurt people. But I can't regret being with you. Even now? Even after all this? Especially now. I kissed her. Not desperate this time, just sad. Two people clinging to each other in the wreckage they'd created. That night, I checked into a motel, the kind with thin walls and a Bible in the drawer. I sat on the bed, stared at my phone. 17 missed calls, 12 voicemails. I didn't listen to any of them. Just sat there in the buzzing fluorescent light, thinking about the choices that led me here. About Claire's journals, her locked drawer, the secrets we keep. About Sarah's blue dress 2 years ago. The moment I first wondered. About being a man who told himself he was the victim when really I was just a coward who wanted someone else and needed a good enough reason to take her. My phone buzzed. Michael. You son of a bitch. Yeah. Sarah? Really? Yeah. What the hell were you thinking? I wasn't. Silence on the line. Jennifer left me, he said. What? Tonight, after she heard about you, said if even you, Mr. Perfect marriage, could cheat, then there's no point pretending anymore. I closed my eyes. I'm sorry. Don't be. She's right. We've been dead for years. He laughed. Empty. Guess you inspired her. Michael, I'm not calling to yell at you, he said. I'm calling to ask, was it worth it? What? Blowing up your life. Was it worth it? I thought about Sarah, her warmth, her laugh, the way she looked at me. Then thought about Claire, Lisa, the family I destroyed. I don't know, I said. That's the most honest thing you've said in years? The line went dead. I lay back on the motel bed, stared at the ceiling. And for the first time since this started, I let myself feel the full weight of what I'd done. Not justified, not explained away, just guilty. The apartment had 4 pieces of furniture, a bed, a table, a chair, and my father's old lamp. I'd left everything else to Claire, seemed only fair. The lease was month to month. Studio, 6th floor, no elevator. The kind of place people live when they're starting over or giving up. I wasn't sure which one I was doing. I sat in that chair for hours. No TV, no music, no distractions. Just me and the lamp and the sound of traffic 6 floors down. Sarah called twice a day. I didn't always answer, not because I didn't love her, because I wasn't sure I deserved to. The divorce papers came on a Tuesday, hand-delivered by a process server who looked bored. I signed them at the table, didn't read them, didn't matter what they said. Claire wanted the house, the cars, the savings. I gave her everything. Money seemed like the least I owed her. Days blurred together. I went to work, came home, sat in the chair, ate when I remembered, slept when I could. The apartment was always too quiet, or too loud, depending on the hour. At night, I could hear the couple next door fighting, throwing things, screaming, then laughing, then the rhythmic thump of reconciliation against the shared wall. At dawn, I could hear the old man upstairs shuffling around. Every morning at 5:30, like clockwork. The scrape of a chair, the cough, the same routine. Lives happening all around me. Mine had just stopped. Michael showed up on a Friday, didn't call first, just knocked. I opened the door. He stood there with a 6-pack, face unshaven, eyes tired. You look like shit, he said. You too. Can I come in? I stepped aside. He looked around. At the bare walls, the single chair, the mattress on the floor. Jesus, Mark, this is depressing. Yeah. He set the beer on the table. Opened 2, handed me 1. We drank in silence. Jennifer took the kids to her mother's, he said finally. I'm sorry. Don't be. I told you. It was already over. He took a long drink. Funny thing is, I'm relieved. Yeah? Yeah. He laughed. Empty. 20 years of pretending. And all it took was you blowing up your life for me to realize I could stop pretending too. I didn't mean to. I know. He looked at me. Really looked. You're a piece of shit, you know that? I know. My sister's destroyed. I know. And then Sarah. She lost everything. Her best friend. Her reputation. Everyone in town thinks she's a homewrecker. I know. He grabbed my shirt, pulled me close. Say something else. Defend yourself. Fight back. What do you want me to say? I don't know. He shoved me. Hard. I want you to be the villain so I can hate you, but you're just pathetic. I didn't argue. He sat on the edge of my bed, put his head in his hands. We stayed like that. 2 men, 2 failed marriages, 1 shitty apartment. You know what the worst part is? He said quietly. What? I don't even blame you. He looked up, eyes wet. I told you to leave if you were unhappy. And you did. Just in the worst possible way. I should have divorced her first. Yeah, you should have. And he finished his beer, opened another. But you were scared, and lonely, and human. That's not an excuse. No, but it's a reason. We sat in silence. The couple next door started fighting again. Muffled shouts through the wall. Michael listened, smiled, sad. That'll be me and Jennifer in the lawyer's office, he said. You're really doing it? I'm really doing it. He looked at me. After all this, watching you blow up your life, I realized I'd rather be alone and honest than married and dead. He stood, walked to the door, stopped, turned. You're not a monster, Mark. You're just a man who made the worst possible choice at the worst possible time. Is there a difference? Yeah, he said. Monsters don't feel guilty. You're drowning in it. He left. I sat there with the half-empty six-pack, thinking, that's the most grace anyone's shown me in months. The letter arrived 3 days later, handwritten, Claire's looping script, no return address. I stared at it for an hour before opening it. Mark, I'm not writing to forgive you. I don't know if I ever will, but I need you to know something. I didn't stop loving you. I stopped knowing how to love you. My therapist says I have PTSD, that my body learned touch means danger, that I pushed you away because staying close felt like drowning. I should have told you. I should have fought harder, but I didn't. And you broke. We both did. I don't hate you for finding warmth somewhere else. I hate that it was her. I hate that I lost both of you. Dr. Stevens asked me if I thought our marriage could have been saved. I said I don't know. She asked if I wanted it saved. I said I don't know that either. Maybe we were always going to end up here. Two broken people who couldn't fix each other. I'm going to the inpatient program next week. The one you told me about. I'm ready now, not because of you, because of me. I need to learn how to be whole again, even if it's too late for us. I hope you find happiness, Mark. With her, with whoever. Just be happy. That's all I ever wanted for you. I just couldn't give it to you myself. Maybe in another life, we could have saved each other. In this one, we just hurt each other. Goodbye. See. I read it 3 times, then folded it carefully, put it in the drawer with the divorce papers. Sat in my chair, stared at the lamp. My father gave me that lamp when I joined the Marines. Said every man needs a light to come home to. I'd carried it through 3 deployments, 4 apartments, 1 marriage. Now it sat in this empty room, still working, still there. Like me, still here. Still breathing, not sure why, not sure what for, just still. That night, I called Sarah. Hey, she said, soft, careful. Hey, how are you? I don't know. Silence on the line, the good kind. The kind where you don't have to explain. I got a letter from Claire, I said. Oh, she's going to that treatment program, the trauma one. That's good. Yeah. More silence. Mark? Yeah? Are we okay? Her voice was small, scared. I don't know. Do you want to be? I looked around the apartment, at the emptiness. The consequence of every choice I'd made. I don't know what I want anymore, I said. That's okay. Is it? Yeah, it's okay to not know. I closed my eyes. I need time, I said. I know. I need to sit with what I did, who I am. I understand. I'm not leaving you. I know, she said again, gentle, patient. Take your time. I'll be here. You shouldn't be. But I will be. We stayed on the line, not talking, just breathing together through the phone. Finally, she said, Good night, Mark. Good night, Sarah. The line went quiet. I sat in my chair, under my father's lamp, in my empty apartment. And for the first time in months, I didn't try to justify anything, didn't explain it away, didn't make excuses. I just sat with the truth. I hurt people I loved. I broke sacred things. I chose myself over my vows. And now I had to learn how to live with that. Not get over it. Just live with it. The weight of being human. The call came at 2 a.m. Claire's neighbor, Mrs. Patterson, voice shaking. Mark, I'm sorry to call so late, but it's Claire. I sat up, heart pounding. What happened? She hasn't left the house in a week. Mail's piling up. I knocked today, and she didn't answer, but I can hear her moving around in there. Did you call Lisa? Lisa's out of town, some college trip. I have your number from the neighborhood directory. I didn't know who else to... I'll be there in 20 minutes. I threw on clothes, grabbed my keys. Sarah's name was on my recent calls. I almost dialed. Didn't. This wasn't about her. The house looked the same. Our house. Was our house. The porch light was off. Newspapers scattered on the walkway. Claire's car in the driveway, covered in pollen. I used my key. Wasn't sure it would still work. It did. Claire? The house was dark. Dishes in the sink. Mail covering the table. The smell of something rotting. Go away. Her voice came from upstairs. Weak. Broken. I'm worried about you. You don't get to be worried anymore. She was right. But I climbed the stairs anyway, found her in the bedroom, our old bedroom, sitting on the floor in the dark, back against the bed, still in pajamas, hair unwashed. I said, "Go away." I sat down across from her, back against the closet door. "When's the last time you ate?" "I don't know." "Well, Claire, I'm fine." "You're not fine," she laughed, hollow. "No, I'm really not." We sat in the dark, the only sound our breathing. "I talked to Dr. Stevens," I said quietly, "about that trauma program, the inpatient one. She thinks I'm not going to some hospital. It's not a hospital. It's a treatment center, specialized, for people who've been through what you went through. I don't need—" "Claire, you're not okay, and that's okay, but you can't stay here like this." Why do you care?" Her voice cracked. "You got what you wanted. You're free." "I don't feel free." "Good." Silence. "It's my fault," I said. "What?" "This. You. Breaking down. It's my fault. Don't do that." Do what?" "Take responsibility for my trauma. You didn't break me, Mark. I was already broken. But I made it worse." She looked at me, finally, eyes hollow in the dark. "Yeah, you did." The words hit hard. True. "I left when I should have fought," I said. "I took the easy way out." There was no easy way. I could have asked about the journals, the locked drawer, the therapy. I could have asked what was wrong instead of assuming you just didn't love me anymore. Would it have made a difference? I don't know. Maybe. She pulled her knees to her chest. Small. Broken. "I wanted to tell you," she said quietly, so many times. But every time I tried, the words just stopped, like my body wouldn't let me speak it out loud. "I wish you had." "I wish I could have." She wiped her eyes. "Stephen says my silence was self-protection, that I learned to bury things to survive, and I buried it so deep I couldn't dig it up even when I wanted to." "That's not your fault." It's not yours either, not completely." We sat with that. Two people who'd hurt each other, both guilty, both victims. "If you go," I said carefully, "to the program, I'll pay for it. Handle everything with the lawyers. Give you space, whatever you need." "Why?" Her voice broke. "Why do you care?" "Because I loved you, because I still do, in a way that doesn't fit anymore." I paused. "And because I need you to be okay, so I can forgive myself." She cried, not angry tears, just sad ones. "That's the most honest thing you've said to me in years." "I know." She reached out, touched my hand. Brief, then pulled away. "Okay," she whispered. "Okay, I'll go, to the program." Relief flooded through me. "When?" "I don't know. I need to call, make arrangements." "I'll help. Whatever you need." She nodded, exhausted. "Mark?" "Yeah." "I forgive you. I wasn't expecting that." "You don't have to—" "I do. Because I need to let you go. And I can't do that while I'm holding on to hate." My throat tightened. "I forgive you too," I said. "For what?" "For not telling me. For shutting me out. For making me feel like I was the problem when you were drowning and I couldn't see it." She smiled, sad. "Real. We both were the problem." "Yeah." We sat there, not as husband and wife, as two people who'd survived the same shipwreck, finally making peace with going down. 1 week later, I drove her to the treatment center, 2 hours north, into the mountains. The kind of place that looked like a resort, but treated deeper wounds. We didn't talk much. She stared out the window, hands folded in her lap. I kept my eyes on the road, classical music on the radio, something soft, instrumental. "You seeing her?" Claire asked. Quiet. No accusation. "Sarah?" "Yeah. Sort of." I asked for time to figure things out. "Oh, do you love her?" "I think so." She nodded. "That's honest." "Does it hurt, hearing that?" "Everything hurts right now." She looked at me. "But weirdly, knowing you love her makes it easier." "How?" "Because it wasn't just sex. It wasn't just using each other. You actually found something real." She turned back to the window. "That's better than it being meaningless." "I don't know if that makes it better or worse." "Me neither." We drove in silence. At the treatment center entrance, I pulled up to the curb. She grabbed her bag from the back seat, opened the door, stopped. "Mark?" "Yeah?" "Be happy. With her. With whoever. Just be happy." "You too." She smiled. Small, genuine. "I'm going to try." She got out. Started walking toward the building. Halfway there, she turned back. "Thank you for driving me. For not giving up on me even when I gave up on you." "I never gave up on you, Claire. I just gave up on us." I know, so did I." She walked through the glass doors. I watched until she disappeared, then sat in the parking lot for an hour, engine off, just breathing, crying. Not because I still loved her, but because I was finally free to let her go. That night, I went to Sarah's. She opened the door, saw my face. "You okay?" "Yeah, I am." She pulled me inside. We sat on the couch. "I took Claire to the treatment center today," I said. "How was it?" "Hard, good, necessary." Sarah nodded. Took my hand. "She forgave me," I said. That's really good, Mark." "Yeah," I looked at her. "I need to know something." "Okay. If I'd never been married, if you'd met me when I was free, would you still want me?" She looked at me. Honest, clear, yes. Even though I'm messy, even though I'm guilty, especially because of that. As I kissed her. Not desperate this time, not guilty, just present. "I love you," I said. First time I'd said it without qualification. "I love you too. I don't know if I'm ready to be completely happy yet." "I know, but I want to try. With you." She smiled, real, warm. "Then let's try." We sat there, her head on my shoulder, my arm around her. Two broken people who'd found each other in the wreckage. Not perfect, not innocent, just trying to build something real from the ruins. I woke up to the smell of coffee. Sarah was at the stove, humming. Something old. Folk song her mother used to sing. Sunlight through the kitchen window. Golden. Warm. On the counter, my navy mug. The chipped one. Beside it, a second cup. Hers. Both full, both steaming. I stood in the doorway, watching her. She turned, saw me, smiled. "Morning." I walked over, wrapped my arms around her from behind, rested my chin on her shoulder. "Morning." We stood there, quiet, ordinary. The mug had survived 3 lives, 3 versions of me. The first, filled by my own hand in an empty guest room, grief. The second, filled by her hand when we were still pretending it was innocent, hope. The third, filled by her hand in our shared kitchen, peace. Not perfect, not innocent, just present. "You okay?" Sarah asked. "Yeah, I am." She turned in my arms, kissed me, soft. "I love you," she said. "I love you too." We drank our coffee at the table, her feet tucked under her, my hand on her knee. Small things, simple things. The kind of morning I'd stopped believing I'd ever have. Lisa called that afternoon. I almost didn't answer. "Dad?" "Hey, sweetheart." Silence on the line. Awkward. Heavy. "Mom called me," she said. "From the treatment place." "Yeah?" "She said you drove her, that you paid for it." It was the right thing to do. More silence. "Can we meet?" Lisa asked. "For coffee?" My heart jumped. "Yeah, of course. When?" "Tomorrow? That place on 5th? I'll be there." "Okay." She paused. "Dad?" "Yeah?" "I'm still really angry at you." "I know, but I miss you." My throat tightened. "I miss you too, baby." "Don't call me that. I'm 20. You'll always be my baby." She laughed. Small. The first time I'd heard it in months. "See you tomorrow, Dad." The line went dead. I sat there holding the phone, staring at nothing. Sarah came out of the bedroom, saw my face. "That was Lisa," I said. "How is she?" "Angry, but she wants to see me." Sarah smiled. "That's good, Mark. That's really good." The coffee shop was crowded. Students, freelancers, people living their normal lives. Lisa was already there. Corner table, hands wrapped around a latte. She looked up when I walked in, didn't smile, but didn't look away. I sat down across from her. "Thanks for coming," I said. "Thanks for paying for Mom's treatment." Straight to business, no small talk. That was Lisa. "How is she?" I asked. "Better. She sounds lighter, like she can breathe again." Lisa looked at me. "She said you two talked, really talked. For the first time in years." "We did. She told me she forgives you." "I know." Lisa's jaw tightened. "I don't know if I can." "You don't have to. But I want to understand." Her voice cracked. "I want to understand how you could do that to her, to us." I took a breath, let it out slow. "I was lonely. That's not an excuse. It's just the truth." "Mom was lonely too." "I know. But I didn't see it. I only saw my own pain." "That's selfish." "You're right. It was." Lisa stared at her coffee, tears in her eyes. "I looked up to you my whole life. You were the good one. The guy who did everything right." She looked up. "And then you became just another cheating husband." The words cut deep, true. "I'm sorry," I said. "Do you love her, Sarah?" "Yes." Did you love her before, when you were still married?" I thought about lying, making it easier. Chose truth instead. I wanted her before. I loved her after. Lisa wiped her eyes. At least you're honest now. It's all I have left. We sat in silence, coffee cooling, people laughing around us. I don't forgive you, Lisa said finally. Not yet. Maybe not ever. That's fair. But I don't want to lose you. Her voice broke. You're still my dad. Even if you're also the guy who broke my mom's heart. I reached across the table. She looked at my hand, hesitated, then took it. I'm not going anywhere, I said. Promise? Promise. She squeezed my hand. Let go. I can't meet Sarah. Not yet. Maybe not for a long time. I understand. But we can do this. Coffee. Sometimes. I'd like that. She stood, grabbed her bag. At the door, she stopped, turned back. Dad? Yeah? I'm glad you're not pretending anymore, that you were happy when you weren't. Me too, sweetheart. Still don't call me that. She left. I sat there for another hour, drinking cold coffee, feeling lighter than I had in months. Not forgiven, but not abandoned. That was enough. That weekend, I went to the lake. The same lake where Claire and I had our first date, 20 years ago. When we were young and stupid and thought love was easy, the water was calm, sky gray, but not threatening. November cold in the air. I sat on the dock, feet dangling over the edge, pulled out my phone, scrolled to Claire's last text. Doing better here. Thank you for everything. I stared at those words. Then I deleted the thread. Not out of anger, out of release. She'd always be part of my story. The woman I married, the life I built, the mistakes I made. But she wasn't my story anymore. I stood, looked out at the water, thought about the man I used to be, the man who believed in vows above all else, who thought staying was always noble. That man was gone. In his place, someone messier, more honest, less certain, but more alive. I turned around, walked back to my car. Sarah was waiting at home, probably reading. Feet tucked under her, coffee beside her. My daughter was angry but willing to try. My ex-wife was healing in the mountains. I'd lost everything and gained something I didn't know I needed. Not redemption, not absolution, just the possibility of building something real from the wreckage. I drove home. That night, Sarah and I cooked dinner together. Pasta. Simple. Her recipe. We moved around the small kitchen like we'd been doing it for years. Lisa wants to do coffee sometimes, I said. That's wonderful. She's not ready to meet you. I know. That's okay. It might be years. Then it's years. Sarah handed me a wooden spoon. I'm not going anywhere. We ate at the table. Candles lit, music soft in the background. You know what I realized today? I said. What? I spent 20 years trying to be perfect. Perfect husband, perfect father, perfect man. I looked at her, and I failed anyway. You didn't fail. You just learned you're human. Is that better? It's real. We cleaned the dishes together. Her washing, me drying, the coffee mug sat on the counter, chipped, faded, still here, like me. Broken, but not destroyed. Different, but not dead. Thank you, I said. For what? For seeing me when I was invisible. Sarah dried her hands, turned to me, touched my face. You were never invisible. You were just looking at people who'd stopped seeing. She kissed me, gentle. Sure, we went to bed. Her head on my chest, my arm around her. Two imperfect people, building something imperfect, but real, finally real, 1 year later. It's crooked, I said. Sarah stepped back, tilted her head, looked at the Christmas tree. It's perfect. The top is leaning left. It's rustic. It's crooked. And she threw a piece of tinsel at me. Silver strand caught in my hair. I threw one back, missed. Hit the lamp. We ended up on the couch, laughing, covered in tinsel like two idiots. We're terrible at this, I said. We're learning. She kissed me, soft, easy. First Christmas tree. We're allowed to be bad at it. I looked at the tree, crooked, half decorated, lights tangled. It's perfect, I said. Liar. Yeah, but it's ours. She leaned against me, her head on my shoulder, my arm around her. Lisa coming for Christmas? She asked. She's thinking about it, wants to do breakfast, not ready for a full day. That's progress. Yeah. Outside, snow. Snow was starting to fall. First of the season, soft, quiet. You happy? Sarah asked. Yeah, I think I am. You think? I'm learning how to be happy without feeling guilty about it. How's that going? Slowly. She laughed, kissed my neck. We've got time. The grocery store was crowded. Saturday afternoon, everyone stocking up for the holidays, carts bumping, kids crying, Christmas music on loop. I was in the produce section, trying to remember if Sarah liked red or green apples when I saw her. Claire. She was by the oranges. Hair shorter, lighter. She looked good. Better than I'd seen her in years. I could have turned around. Avoided the whole thing. Didn't. Hey, I said. She looked up, surprised. Then smiled. Mark, hi. Hi. Awkward silence. Shoppers moving around us. You look good, I said. Thanks, I feel good. She paused. Treatment helped, a lot. I'm glad. Me too. She grabbed an orange, added it to her basket. I noticed she was using reusable bags now. Small change. Different person. How's Lisa? She asked. Good. We're doing coffee once a week, sometimes twice. She told me. I'm happy you two are talking again. Me too. More silence. Not uncomfortable. Just final. I'm seeing someone, Claire said. Yeah? His name's David. He's a teacher, patient, gentle. She smiled, real. We're taking it slow. That's great, Claire, really. He knows. About everything. About the abuse. About you and Sarah. He knows all of it. And he stayed? He stayed. She looked at me, clear-eyed. Turns out some people don't run when you show them your damage. The words hit. Not mean, just true. I'm happy for you, I said. Meant it. I'm happy for me, too. She looked at my cart, saw the 2 different coffee brands, the vanilla creamer. Sarah still drinks that fancy stuff? Yeah. She smiled. Not bitter, just knowing. Take care of her, she said. I will. And Mark? Yeah? Thank you for driving me that day. For pushing me to go. I wouldn't have if you hadn't. You would have. Maybe, but you made it easier. She touched my arm. Brief, kind. I forgave you, for real this time, not just saying it, actually meaning it. My throat tightened. Thank you. Don't waste it, she said, gentle, firm. Don't waste the second chance. Be happy. Actually be happy. I'm trying. Good. She walked away. Turned once, waved. I waved back, then finished my shopping in a daze, thinking, we're going to be okay. All of us. That night, Sarah and I were in bed, her head on my chest, my hand in her hair. The crooked Christmas tree glowing in the corner, lights blinking, imperfect. I saw Claire today, I said. Sarah stiffened slightly. Oh? At the grocery store. She looks good, happy. That's good. She's seeing someone? How do you feel about that? Relieved. Sarah lifted her head, looked at me. Relieved? Yeah, she's moving on. Building something new. She's not stuck anymore. Neither are you. No, I'm not. Sarah was quiet for a moment. Then, do you ever regret it? Regret what? How it happened. The way we started. I thought about it. Really thought. I regret the pain. I regret hurting her, hurting Lisa. I regret not having the courage to leave first, the right way. But I don't regret you. She was quiet. Is that terrible? I asked. No, it's human. I used to think being good meant never making mistakes, never hurting anyone. I looked at the ceiling. Now, I think being good means owning your mistakes, living with them, trying to be better. You are better. I'm different. Not sure if that's better. It is, Sarah said. Firm, sure. The man I met a year ago was dying inside, pretending he was fine, letting loneliness eat him alive. And now? Now you're alive. Messy, flawed, but alive. She kissed my chest, then my jaw, then my mouth. I love you, she said. I love you too. Do you think we'll make it? She asked, vulnerable. Long term? I don't know, but I want to try. That's all we can do. Try. We fell asleep like that. Tangled together, warm, safe, 2 imperfect people, building something real from the wreckage of what came before. Christmas morning, Lisa came for breakfast. Sarah stayed in the bedroom, giving us space. Lisa and I sat at the small table. Pancakes, coffee, bacon. How's Mom? I asked. Good, really good. She's coming to my apartment for dinner tonight. That's great. David's coming too. He's nice, Dad. You'd like him. I'm glad she found someone. Lisa nodded, ate a piece of bacon, didn't look at me. You can ask, I said. Ask what? About Sarah, about us, about how I'm doing. She set down her fork. Are you happy? Yeah, I am. Do you think about Mom? About what you did? Every day. Does it hurt? Yeah, but less than it used to. She nodded, picked up her fork again. Sarah seems nice, she said quietly. She is. I'm not ready to meet her. I know. But maybe someday. Whenever you're ready, no pressure. Lisa looked at me, my daughter, grown, strong, still carrying the weight of my choices. I'm proud of you, she said. For what? for not pretending anymore, for being honest even when it's ugly. Thanks, sweetheart. I told you not to call me that. You'll always be my sweetheart. She rolled her eyes, but smiled. After she left, Sarah came out. How was it? Good, really good. She mentioned me? Said you seem nice, that maybe she'll meet you someday. Sarah's face lit up. Really? Really. She wrapped her arms around me, held on tight. We're going to be okay, she said. Yeah, we are. Not perfect, not innocent, but okay, and that was enough. 2 years later, early spring, I stood at the lake again. Same spot, different man. The water was calm. Ice melted. First buds on the trees. Spring. Behind me, Sarah was setting up a picnic. Lisa was with her, talking, laughing. Real laughter. It took 18 months, but my daughter came around. Not all at once. Just slowly. The way trust always builds. One coffee at a time, one honest conversation. One Christmas morning that turned into lunch, then dinner. Last month, she finally met Sarah. Awkward at first, then easier, then real. They'd never be best friends, but they were trying. That was enough. Claire was somewhere in the city, married now, to David, the patient teacher. I got an invitation. Didn't go. Sent a gift instead. She texted, "Thank you, I'm happy." And I texted back, "And me too." We weren't friends. Probably never would be. But we weren't enemies either. Just two people who loved each other wrong and learned to let go. I used to think happiness required permission, that you had to earn the right to move on, that carrying guilt meant you couldn't also carry joy. But I learned something these past 2 years. Forgiveness isn't about deserving it. It's about choosing to live anyway. I cheated, I hurt people, I broke vows I swore I'd keep. I'm not proud of that, but I'm not drowning in it either. Sarah called my name. I turned. She smiled, held up the old Navy mug. Coffee? I walked toward her, toward my daughter, toward the life I built from the ruins of the last one. And for the first time in years, maybe ever, I felt like I was exactly where I belonged. Not because I was innocent, because I was human. And being human means carrying your mistakes and your joys in the same hands. Learning to hold both. Learning to breathe. Learning to be alone without being lonely. And sometimes, if you're very lucky, learning to be loved.